Hello everybody, it's Redbeard Anubis and welcome back to the channel. We are going to be doing court day. Those have seen this before, they know what's coming. Those who haven't, basically we go through all the court cases that we just went through on the last group of patrols in one fell swoop here at the courthouse. And we basically see how it all turned out. So yeah, it is the next day, allegedly. And we're going to figure it out. So there is no good courtroom mod that I've been able to find, which sucks. So basically what we do is we stand here at the employees jurors entrance, and then we pull up our pad, and we go through court cases and see how they turned up. We got a lot to go through. So let's start with Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson was arrested for evading arrest, reckless driving, possession of heroin. His got 2 years in prison, fined over $6,000, and his license was suspended for 2 years. Granted probation on those though. Okay, Jimmy Hoffa. He's not buried under Jet Stadium. Yeah. Battery on a police officer, resisting arrest with violence. He got 11 years in prison and fined $12,000. Jessica Cruz, she had a warrant for arrest. She was found not guilty. Warrant was not active. Okay. Speeding, she was fined. So it was a traffic stop that ended up being a warrant. Warrant ended up being nothing. So they went ahead and got rid of that and called it a day. Okay. We got this here right here. Jack Sims, possession of heroin, possession of methamphetamine, possession of PCP, possession of a stolen motor vehicle, and grand theft auto. He got 14 years in prison and fined almost $25,000. Wow. John Loss. John Loss was on Melanoma Street when we ran in the final offense location. Evading arrest. Evading arrest, leaving the scene of an accident, reckless driving, illegal possession of a firearm, possession of stolen property, possession of a stolen vehicle, vehicular manslaughter, and grand theft auto. 16 years, 8 months in prison, and fined just over $18,000. Boy. Dave McCreary, trespassing, possession of cocaine, possession of MDMA, and warrant for arrest. 10 years in prison for that, and fined almost $10,000. Dan Tranford, evading arrest, reckless driving, possession of stolen government property. Looks like the government didn't want to press charges on that. Granted probation. He got 9 months in prison for the reckless driving, and his license was suspended for 26 months, a little over 2 years, and fined a little over $2,000. Furio Tarantino, yes. Trespassing, possession of MDMA, battery on a police officer, resisting with violence, granted probation on resisting with violence. Wow. 11 years in prison and fined $13,000. Carlos Ricci, speeding under 15. He pled guilty to that and was fined. And then we have another case for him, which was the big one. Holy crap. Driving under the influence, evading arrest, leaving the scene of an accident, reckless driving, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of methamphetamines, illegal possession of a firearm, attempted murder of a police officer, brandishing a firearm, discharge of a firearm, and resisting arrest with violence. Fined almost $22,000, 43 years in prison, 7 months. He is 46 right now, 43. He'll be out when he is 89 years old. Brian Connor, possession of a controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of heroin, possession of MDMA. 8 years in prison and $16,000 fined. Daniel Johnson, fined a little over $6,000, 4 years, 7 months in prison for possession of methamphetamines, public intoxication, resisting arrest, and simple assault. Jim Goodman, possession of heroin, public intoxication, simple assault. 6 years, 4 months in prison, and fined almost $5,000. Heroin got him the big time, and the other stuff was basic. But Laura Collins, Laura Collins, Possession of cocaine, 5 years in prison, $4,000. Aaron Paul, evading arrest, reckless driving, street racing, possession of drug paraphernalia, and possession of heroin. 4 years, 8 months in prison for that. What did he get prison for? Possession of drug paraphernalia and the reckless driving. License suspended. Holy crapola. That's over 3 years. Yeah, dang. That's almost 3 years actually. Once I do the math, that's almost 3 years. That's 30. No, 36. No, that's 3. Dear. Yeah. So he's license suspended for 3 years. So once he gets out of prison after 4 years, 8 months, then his license suspension will go into effect. Bob Joe. Bob Joe. Bob Joe. Trespassing, disturbing the peace, resisting arrest, and brandishing a firearm. 10 months in prison, 1 year, 10 months in prison, and fined a little over $3,000. Dang. All right, then we got to go here and then here to bring up all these cases now. George Michaels, driving while license suspended, driving under the influence, evading arrest, possession of drug paraphernalia, license suspended. Okay, so he got 4 years, 8 months in prison and fined a little over $7,000. Dang. License revoked. So he can't even get his license back ever. 56 years old. Stephen Miller. He was speeding under 15, crossing the center divide, expired insurance and expired driver's license, fined $600 pretty much. And then we had criminal charges, driving under the influence, possession of methamphetamines, and possession of PCP, 2 years in prison, and fined a little over $10,000. Definitely took a plea on that one. Julia Henderson, serving the peace, public intoxication, and simple battery, 1 year, 5 months in prison, fined over $200,000. Julia Henderson, she also had the drug charges, which added 4 years and $8,000 to her charges. Eduardo Fernando, possession of LSD, public intoxication, 8 months in prison, and fined just under $6,000. Michael Caine, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of fentanyl, possession of heroin, possession of LSD, and a warrant for arrest. Not guilty on a warrant for arrest. It must have been not active in the system. 10 years in prison though, and fined $15,000. Michael Caine speeding under 15, which was the original reason for the stop. And yeah, 200. A lot of this stuff, as you guys have noticed, comes from just traffic stops. John West, evading arrest, possession of controlled substance, possession of stolen vehicle. He got 2 years, 7 months in prison, fined just over $6,000 for that, and his license was revoked. He can no longer drive. Probably still will, but he can no longer legally drive. That was in Sandy Shores. Jim Smith, speeding under 15, riding a bike without a helmet, fined $321. And then we had an arrest for him, evading arrest, possession of heroin, illegal possession of a firearm, attempted murder of a police officer, brandishing a firearm, discharge of a firearm, and resisting arrest with violence on Joshua Road. This was the Sandy Shores episode, I'm pretty sure. Fine, just over $18,000. 57 years, 8 months in prison. So this dude pretty much will be spending the rest of his adult life in prison. And at 49 years, that's probably the most I've seen yet on an attempted murder of a police officer. I would think. I'm not sure. I would think. So yeah, dang. Well, Jim Smith, pleasure knowing you. We'll see you in about 50 years. Hopefully I'll be off the road by then. Jesse Bush. Life in prison for first-degree murder. Wow. That is the most I've ever seen. 22 years old, illegal possession of a firearm, and first-degree murder. Man. Well, he's never getting out of jail. That's terrible. Desmond Miles. Possession of cocaine, disturbing the peace, public intoxication, and simple assault. He got 2 years, 11 months in prison, almost 3 years. Fined just under $6,000. Linda Marcelli, possession of cocaine, public intox, 4 years, 9 months, and fined just under $6,000. Kate West, disturbing the peace, aggravated kidnapping, and brandishing a firearm. She got 9 years, 10 months in prison and fined $7,500. Henry Roosevelt, driving under the influence, evading arrest, leaving the scene of an accident, reckless driving, possession of fentanyl, possession of heroin, possession of marijuana, and resisting arrest. License was suspended for 1 year, 2 months, and 4 years in prison. So after his 4 years in prison, then he will be suspended for that amount of time. Henry running a red light was the original offense, and he was guilty on that, which helped back us up for that. Court cases, come on. I have to reopen it. Sometimes it messes up. All right, well, we're almost there. Aaron Paul, at fault in an accident. He was fined for that. Aaron Paul was suspended, no prison time, granted probation for everything: resisting arrest, reckless driving, leaving the scene of an accident, suspended for almost 2 years, and he has to pay a very steep fine, but still no prison time at all for that. Wow. He must have had a great lawyer. Took a deal when he saw it. Jackie Powlick, 3 years, 9 months in prison, fined just under $10,000 for possession of heroin, possession of marijuana, resisting arrest, and simple assault. Jim McTavish, possession of cocaine, resisting arrest, and simple assault. 1 year, 5 months in prison, and fined a little over $6,000. Inwell Holly, legal possession of firearm, not guilty. Possession of stolen property. Attempted murder of a police officer. Assault with a firearm, brandishing a weapon, discharge of a firearm, resisting arrest with violence, fined just over $23,000, 75 years in prison, 5 months in prison. This guy will basically, if he lives, which is highly doubtful, but if he lives, will get out when he is 108 years old. So he will probably die in prison. Wow. That's basically a life sentence. All right, reveal outcome. This is our new one. We got another Aaron Paul here. Evading arrest, reckless driving, possession of drug paraphernalia, possession of methamphetamine, PCP. This was our guy in last episode that flipped the car. And yeah, so they threw out the paraphernalia with the dollar bill. Methamphetamine is a PCP. They gave 5 years in prison for that. License suspended for almost 3 years, and he has to do 6 years, 7 months in prison for his stupidity there. Adam Cooper, one of our inmates, not guilty on the LSD, possession of marijuana, obstruction. There's no escape charge. It's more than 7 months. So this is going to be on top of what he was originally going to jail for. Keep that in mind. So he's got an extra 5 years, 7 months in prison, and fined an extra $4,000. Sheriff Souse, he's got 10 years in prison and 10 years, 11 months in prison, fined just under $13,000. That's on top of what he was going to jail for originally. Charles Northman, no, not guilty for resisting arrest, really. He got another 8 years, 7 months in prison and fined basically $13,500. Dang, that's crazy. All right, well, that is the court cases, everybody. Hope you guys did enjoy it. It was kind of interesting to see how they all ended. I do look forward to that. Next episode, which should be on Monday, permitting anything crazy happening, we'll be back with the LSPD as we restart our cycle of departments. So I hope to see you guys there. Take care and have a wonderful, wonderful evening.